Parashat Viyachi, Tufshi and Pai Hai, B'siyata Deshmaya. First, we're going to speak something about Shabbos Chazak. This week, because it's Vaychi, it's the last parasha of Sefer Bereshis, it's Shabbos Chazak. We say, when we finish, we say Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek. Some say Chazak, Chazak, Chazak. And the reason, because Chazak is B'gematria 115, Chazak. 3 times Chazak is 345. B'gematria Moshe. The more of a Shemesh brings you down. That the reason why we say 3 times Chazak, B'gematria Moshe. Also, the Aruch HaShulchan says this time that a lot of people say Chazak, Chazak, Chazak. We usually say Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek. So I want to say first, I heard from the Beyonder Rebbe Shlita, in the name of his grandfather, the Beyonder Rebbe Zechron Lebruche, that he said once at Parashat Viyachi, he said, this week's Parsha is full of Chizuk. It's a Parsha full of Chizuk. Chizuk means strength. Strength and avodas Hashem, begashmiyas, beruchniyas. And he says why? He said because in the beginning of the Parsha it says that when Yaakov was told that his son Yosef is coming to visit him, to be a mevakir choyle, it says in Pasuk, Vayischazek Yisrael vayeshev al amita. Yisrael, Yaakov strengthened himself, and he sat up on his bed. He said, Vaite the Beyond Rebbe Zechron Lebruche, at the end of the parsha, we finish Kriyas HaTorah, and we say Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek. And that's not enough yet. We go ahead, and we say Daf Torah. And in Daf Torah, the week's parsha of Parashat Viyachi, it's Daf Torah, the tzavua that David HaMelech gave to his son Shlomo before he was nifta, before he passed away. And he told him like this, Unoichi hoylech b'derech kol ha'oretz. I'm going where everybody's ending up. V'chazakta v'hayisa le'ish. You should strengthen yourself and you should be a ish, a man, meaning to say, with all the koyer that you could, whatever power you have in yourself. So he said, the Beyond Rebbe's V'nlevuch, it's full of chizuk. Vayischazek Yisrael vayeshev al amita, Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek, and then the Torah v'chazakta v'yisa leish. His grandson, the Beyond Rebbe Shlita, added to this very geschmacka Yusufe to explain the words of his Eide. He said like this, it's not just telling us 3 times Chizuk. It's telling us that a person should see in every situation that he is, he shouldn't let himself in that situation, in that matzav. He should try to become better and strengthen himself even a little bit. And he said like this. The first one, Vayischazek Yisrael vayeshev al amita. Yaakov was sick and he was lying in bed. Now we hear that Yosef is coming. He strengthened himself and he sat up. So he changed from the matzav of lying, shchiva, into the matzav of yeshiva, of sitting. Now, right. Usually by Kriyas HaTorah, we sit. According to halacha, you don't have to stand by Kriyas HaTorah. The Ariya Kodesh quotes, you shouldn't stand by Kriyas HaTorah. No, you should be sitting by Kriyas HaTorah. So we sit by Kriyas HaTorah. When it comes to Chazak, everybody stands up. That's how it says in halacha, that you stand up when you say Chazak, Chazak. So that shows us that a person that's already sitting from before, he should get chizuk, strengthen himself, and stand up. Now, by the Torah, when David HaMelech gives the tzavua to his son, he tells him, "V'chazakta v'yisa le'ish," and then he goes on, "V'shamartas mishmeres Hashem alekecha luleches b'drachav." This speaks about someone that's already in a matzav of standing, amidah. He should go ahead and walk, be a hoylech. He should go weiter and weiter, luleches b'drachav. So the 3 times Chizuk in this week's parsha teaches us that in every matzav, if a person sees himself, he's already standing good, he shouldn't say, all right, I'm already standing good, it's enough. I don't have to strengthen myself even more. No, go ahead. If you're standing, start walking. Be a hoylech. And once you walk, you could walk even faster. How does it go when you make jogging, go on a treadmill, you start up a little bit until you warm yourself up, and then you could go even faster and faster. Luleches. Now, a person that's sitting shouldn't say, all right, I'm sitting, it's enough, or I can't do anymore. try your best and stand up. And even a person that's in the shvacha matzav, he is lying in a matzav of a shchiva, he can't walk. I mean to say, a ruchnius. He's not able now to be running or walking, but at least you could sit. So change from the matzav of shchiva, of lying, and sit. So those are the three. Referring to Yaakov that was lying in bed. And when Yosef comes to him, he sits up. Chazak, chazak, with this chazik refers where you are sitting already by Kriyas HaTorah. You stand up to say chazak, chazak. And Aftoire v'chazak v'yisol leish refers when you're standing already, take Chizuk and go. To be a leleches, to go weiter. That's the 3 times Chizuk. I said, was Mosif maybe, we spoke before that 3 times Chazak is Begematria Moshe. That's how the Mor V'Shemesh says, and the Aruch HaShulchan. Now, if you want to see what are the letters after Moshe, after a Mem is a Nun, right? After a Shin is a Tov, and after a Hey is a Vov. So that's Venis. Vov, Nin, Sof are the letters after Moshe. After Mem is Nun, after Shin is Tov, and after Hay is Vov. So that saying is like, it's like the idea that I said over here from the Beyaner Rebbe Shlita. Chazak, chazak, chazak is Moshe, yeah? And it tells us the 3 times chazak Moshe, but Venis chazak. Go even afterwards. What are the oisias? What are the letters after Moshe? Vov, Niesov, Venis chazak. Be mischazik and go weiter, and go weiter. If we speak about the Haftorah, I want to say another thing about the Haftorah. The Haftorah finishes this week. Ishloim Yoshav al Kisei David Aviv, Vatikoin Malchisoi Ma'oid. Shloim HaMelech sat on the chair, on the Kisei of David HaMelech, his father, and his Malchis Vatikoin. What's Vatikoin in English? It's Mevusas. How do you say it in English? Bevusas in Ivrit, you call it, it was based on, like based. His Malchus Vatiko was Miskoinein. It was based very well. Ishloim Yoshev al Kisei David Ovi Vatiko Malchusoi Mo'oid. David Raham brings down, Sefer David Raham is a Sefer of Menhugim, Halochas, on the whole year round. It's from one of the Rishonim, Rabbeinu David Avud Raham. He brings down and say that Parashat is V'Haftoides. He brings down a tshuva from the Kadmoinim that when Rav Shrire Goen was nifter, his son took over Rav Hai Goen. We're speaking now of the generation of the Goenim after the Zman HaGemorah, before it started the Tkuf of the Rishonim. Before the Rishonim, in between there was a Tkuf of Goenim. Rav Shrire Goen, Rav Hai Goen. So in those times, whenever there was a specific event that happened to Klal Yisrael, a Ma'ora, so a lot of times they read the Parsha in the Torah, not where they were holding, they stopped, or at least by one Aliyah, they read another shtickle of the Chavish Shechem Torah. So he brings down the Avud Ram, that when Rav Shrire Goen was nifter, that week they read in the Parsha, the shtickle in Parshas Pinchas, where it says, Yifkoid Hashem Elekei Yorichos L'chal Basar Ishala Eido. Even though it wasn't the time of the year to read this specific parsha, that's what David Ram brings from Tshuvas HaKadmonim, that was what I read that week. And by the Haftorah, they said, our Haftorah of this week's parsha, speaking that David HaMelech was nifter, and he gave over the kingdom, the Malchus of Beis David, he gave over to his son Shloimeh. So this is what they read by the Haftorah. Meaning to say, the parsha is Yifkod Hashem Alekei Yorichos L'chal Basar Ishalo Eido, that Rav Hai Goen, he became the one that's going to be the Roish of Klal Yisrael. And by the Haftorah, they read this Haftorah. But interesting, when they finished the last pasuk, instead of saying like it says in Tanakh, Ishloim Yoshav al Kisei David Oviv Vatikem Malchusoi Mo'oid, they finished with the Lashon V'hai Yoshav al Kisei Shrira Aviv Vatiker Malchusoi Mo'oid. That Rav Hai Goen sits on the chair, on the place. His Mamala Makoim, his father, Rav Shrira, So instead of saying Yeshloim Yoshav al Kisei David Aviv, they said Vahai. His name was Hai. Vahai Yoshav al Kisei Shlita Aviv Natika Malchusay Ma'oid. Now, I once said, speaking about this, if you speak about Rav Hai Goen, I once said a nice remes, that there's a known word of the Vilna Goen. Yeah, everybody knows about the Vilna Goen, that once when he was walking in the street, he overheard two children speaking one to the other. You see, this is the Vilna Goen walking over here. So he said, he turned around to those two children and he told them, yeah, Vil nor, you're going to be a Goen. Just want, and you're going to be a Goen. Vil is meaning want, nor means only. If you only want to become a Talmud Chochem, you're going to become a Talmud Chochem. The Parashat definition was because he lived in Vilna, so he was called the Vilna Goen. But he used it as to being masber, saying, Vil nor, just want to become a Goen, and you're going to become a Goen. So I also said once, there's a Gemara in Masechtes Psachim. The Gemara says that Rabbi Yosef used to make every year on Yom Tov Shvius, used to make a very nice Seuda on Yom Tov Shavuos. He used to make an Egla Tilse. He used to take a very good calf and used to shecht it before Yom Tov, or maybe on Yom Tov even. And the meat of that calf he used for the Seudas Yom Tov, it's called the Egla Tilse. What's the definition of Tilse? There's a few pshutim, but the idea is a very good Egel, and that was what he made for the Seudas Yom Tov. And he said, why am I so happy I'm making such a nice Seudah, specifically on Yom Tov Shavuos? He said, Ilav hayoyme kama Yosef ike b'shike. If not for this day Shavuos, I wouldn't be anything different than all other Yosefs that are running around in the street, not doing anything with their lives. Like this, I have a Torah. Shavuos, we got the Torah, and that's how I became Rav Yosef. So he was so happy with this day that Hashem is Barach, that Hivdilonu min atoyim, v'nosalonu toiras emes, v'chai oilam nota b'sechenu. When was this day? On Yom Tov Shvius. So he made such a nice suit on Yom Tov Shvius, saying, if not for this day, Shavuos kama Yosef ike b'shike. A lot of Yosef are going around b'shuke, and they're not doing anything, so that's why he was very happy. So maybe we could say, as we said now, Hai means this, Ha Yoime, this day. Sometimes a person wants to start and he wants to become better. He wants to start learning, or not even dafke by learning, he wants to become better in davening. He wants to become better in another specific area in Avodas Hashem. He has an esoiris, and he thinks to himself, yeah, it's about time I should make a little change. In whichever aspect, in whichever Indian it is. But the Yetzer Hara knows he can't come and start fighting because now he has a big rotzen, a real desire to become better. So he has another way. He tells them, you know what, I'm asking with you, but not today. You're going to start in the beginning of the week. Now it's the middle of the week, or you know what, if he sees that he doesn't want to push it off, at least leave it for tomorrow. Tonight you're going to go to sleep early, you're going to start tomorrow a new day, fresh, that's when you're going to start. Now, in the middle of the day, that's the koich of the Yetzer Hara. And now, what happens? Once he pushed off, and usually the fire, the desire that he has, cools down a little bit, and that's the pshat. You have to start right away as you feel the rotzon. Start, do something about what you are planning to change. Start the change right now. However, I once heard from someone that we see in English two words that we spell them the same, and I think we spell them the same. Two other definitions. Present, yeah, there's past, future, and the present. That's the hoive. And you want to say a matana, you also say a present. Yeah, are they the same spelling? Present. It's not the same spelling? No, it's not. I think that it is. Present.
That's present, and then it's presence.
No, but you call it, no. The present Hoive, it is the same spelling. Could be. Present. I'm not sure, but could be. So what's the pshat? The biggest matana, the biggest present is if you use the present now, not pushing off anything. Start now, even though it's in the middle of the day, it's not in the beginning of something, but that's the big matana. If you start doing it right away, present. So this same idea we see in this, we see in this week's parsha, when Yaakov Avinu gives the bracha to Manasseh and Ephraim, it says, "Vayevorchem bayoyim ahu leimoy." He gave them a blessing, bayoyim ahu, and that specific day. Leimoy, what did he tell them? B'cho yevorech Yisrael leimoy, yisimchu elekim k'Ephraim v'chemenashe. So what's the bayoyim ahu? For sure, he gave them the bracha that day while they were standing next to Yaakov. He gave them the bracha. What's his saying in Posik, Vayevorchem bayoyim ahu leimoy, b'cho yevorech Yisrael. Shkoyach. What's the Vayevorchem bayoyim ahu? So there's a lot of pshatim that tzaddikim said. One of the pshatim is that they said, Vayevorchem bayoyim ahu leimoy. A part of the bracha was, you shouldn't wait for another day, for a beginning, a schaches, a new month, a new year, a new week, even a new day. This day, bayoyim ahu, that was the bracha. Vayevorchem bayoyim ahu leimoy. Whatever they want to do, they should start in this day, in the present. So this is what I said once, maybe that's the pshat in the Gemara. Ilav ha-yoime. Rav Yosef doesn't refer dafke to the day of Shavuos by saying ha-yoime. He means to say ha-yoime this day. Whenever you learn this Gemara, whenever you meet this Mama Chazal, wake up. Because if not for this day, if I would say I'm going to start tomorrow, I would never become Rav Yosef. Because every day I would push it off another day. Because why don't you want to start today? Because it's easier to start tomorrow. But then tomorrow is today. So you also say tomorrow. And then the next day is today, and you say tomorrow. So mochor, if you say there's a word of tzaddikim, say v'yilochem ba'amalek mochor, a pasuk, Parashat B'Shalach. So tzaddikim explained it, go out and fight with Amalek, that his idea is to tell you mochor. That's Amalek. Well, you're going to start tomorrow. That's the Amalek that you have to fight. You have to start today. Vayevorchem. Yaakov gives the bracha for Manasseh and Ephraim. Bayoyim ahu leimoy. This day. Rav Yosef says, Ilav ha-yoime. If I wouldn't start this day, whenever it is, this day kamo Yosef ike b'shike. So this is Rav Hai Guen. Like Vilner Guen, we said Vilnor, you're going to be a Guen. Rav Hai. If you start today, whenever it is, ha-yoime now, whatever it is, then you're going to become a Guen, Rav Hai Guen. If you learn from the name of Rav Hai that shows us today, Bayoyim Ahu. This week was the yahrzeit. On Sunday, High Taivas was the yahrzeit of a few tzaddikim. Maybe I'm going to say two stories of this gewaldige tzaddikim. One of the tzaddikim that the yahrzeit was on Sunday, High Taivas, is Reb Arele Titiver. He was a grandson of the holy Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov had a daughter, Udel, but he also had a son, Reb Tzvi. Actually, today, Zayin Taivas is the yahrzeit of his son, Reb Tzvi, the son of the Baal Shem Tov. His yahrzeit is Zayin Taivas. There's not much divrei Torah in his name, because he didn't speak a lot. I think he even had tzavor from his father, the Baal Shem Tov, that his neshama doesn't have to talk a lot, so he didn't speak a lot of divrei Torah. But there are some, one word they say in his name, Micha Moicha Ba'elim Hashem. He said the word Elim is Aleph Lamed Yud Mem, Rosh Tevis Yaakov Avinu Lo Yimeis. That's the Rosh Tevis of Elim. Micha Moicha Ba'elim Hashem. Elim is Yaakov Avinu Lo Yimeis. Now I don't know if he said an explanation to this Rosh Tevis, but the Koshnitzer Magid in a sefer, I think it's in a sefer Ner Yisrael. He has a sefer Avodas Yisrael, a known sefer, but in a sefer Ner Yisrael, he brings down a few pshatim on this word of Reb Tzvi, the son of the Baal Shem Tov. Interesting, he was nifter in this week's Parsha, where we see Yaakov Avinu Loimes. He had a son that his name was Reb Ahron, and he lived in a city called Titiv. Tet, Yud, Tes, Vov, Veis. Titiv. Reb Ahron Titiv. 1 second, if we're speaking about this week's Parsha, I thought to myself on my way here in Efrat, that's mamish this week's Parsha. Yaakov Avinu is telling Yosef, Vani bevoye me padon, meisa olai roche, the Eretz Canaan, baderech, void kivras Eretz lo ve'efroso, ve'egberei osham baderech efrosi beis lochem. Now what do we see? Rashi explains that he wanted it to, how you say, to menachem, to suit. He wanted to suit a little bit Yosef, so he explains them what's the reason that I didn't even bring in your mother Rachel into the city, and I just buried her on the way because it was al pi adibur, Hashem wanted so. Also, when they're going to go in Golos, the Yidden are going to pass by Kever Rachel, and they're going to cry out to the mother, and she is going to wake up and she's going to daven to Hashem until Hashem is going to promise her v'shavu banim legvulam, that all of Klal Yisrael are going to get back. We need this bracha specifically for the Chatufim. Hashem should help Bekorav Mamash V'Shavi Banim Legvulam. They should all come back. And Klal Yisrael everybody should come back. Sai Beguf, we should come back to Eretz Yisrael with the Binyan Beis Hamikdash, and also Benefesh and Beneshama, all those that are lost, they should come back to the Gevul of the Kedusha, to the Gevulei Sakdisha, V'Shavi Banim Legvulam. So we see it in this week's Parsha. So it's very good to come to Efrat in this week. And if you go to Kever Rachel, it's mamish amazing, because in this week's Parsha, Yaakov explains to his son Yosef that the reason why Rachel Ameni is buried where she is buried, because her grave, her matzeva, her kever, is a Makom Tefillah for Klal Yisrael. And because it was supposed to be the Makom Tefillah of Klal Yisrael, she is buried where she is buried. Now we see an interesting thing. I thought to myself, I don't understand. I mean, Hashem couldn't make that she should be brought into the city and buried in the city, and when Klal Yisrael are going to go in Golos, they're going to go through the city, and they're going to pass by Kever Rachel while going through the city. Maila, why she's not in Kever Rachel, why she's not in Moras HaMachpelah? We could say, like the Ksav Sofer explains in Parashat Vayishlach, that he said Hashem could have made that she should be in Moras HaMachpelah, and we should go through by Moras HaMachpelah. He said that then Klal Yisrael wouldn't know that it's in the schus of Rachel. They would say, maybe all of the Avos davened while they were by Moras HaMachpelah, and the tefillah of all of the Avos, that was what helped. Hashem wanted we should know that it's specifically in the schus of Rachel, so Hashem made she should be buried in a separate place. We should know it's in the koyach and the schus of Rachel Ameni. With that, the Ksav Sofer explains a pasuk in Parashat Vayishlach, where Rachel Ameni is nifter. It says over there, what's the lashon pasuk?
It's also not only to soothe him, but to open that space up of mourning for his mother and maybe doubting the love between his mom and dad, and yet making that space of healing and to be inspired by this is truly bringing the Gula. This is divinely given.
Gewaldig what you're saying now. The Shalom Bayis Kilu.
Yeah.
Maybe Yosef had the doubt in his mind. He didn't even have the chutzpah to mention it because he was so kibedaf. But Yaakov felt that he needs it. He should have the clear picture that Yaakov and Rachel, this is the shleimus, and the reason why she's buried there because Hashem said so. It says over there, Vatomas Rachel, Vatikover bederech efrosa hi beis lochem. That's the Parashat Vayishlach. Vayatze v'Yaakov matzeva al kviroso, hi matzeva kviras Rachel ad hayoim. So the Ksav Sofer explains over there, what's the pshat? Matzeva, usually we write on the matzeva the malice of the person. All of the shvochim, what the person was. It doesn't say that Yaakov wrote something over there. We don't see nothing written on the matzeva. It says this alone, that she's buried in this place, that Klal Yisrael should know the schus of Rachel Amenu, and because of her, we're going to be zoichet to the haftoche of a shavi banim legvulam. That's the matzeva that Yaakov made over there. But now, what I was asking is, If Hashem wants, we should pass by a kever, he could make that Rachel Ameini should be buried in Beis Lechem, and Klal should go through over there. And what we see from this is everything has a cheshbon. Hashem already, before Rachel Ameini was nifter, he already knew the exact way where Klal Yisrael is going to have to go when they're going to go in Golis, and their path wasn't to go through Beis Lechem. Their path was already B'tchilas Abriyah to go through B'derech Efrosa, and because that was where the path was, so Hashem made that Rachel Ameini should be buried over there. So by passing by her kever, they're going to be davening by their kever. It's not like we could think because Rachel was buried there, that was why the path went. No, it's the other way around. So that shows us everybody has his path, and he shouldn't think, yeah, probably everything is Bashgoche Protis. Even where he has to go, where to pass by, because Hashem made already that Rachel should be buried over there, because that's going to be the way where in thousands of years, and the Yiddish kinder are going to have to pass by, where they're going to go in Golis. It's a poshit. Yeah. I was in the middle of saying something, I think. What? About what? I was a story about Reb Arle Tetiver. That is your site. Well, thank you very much. His yard site was on Sunday. He said there's a story said about him that he lived in Tetiv. Now, he was very a quiet person. We said before that even his father, the son of the Baal Shem Tov, wasn't a big, was actually, if we speak about the son of the Baal Shem Tov, there is a girse in the Chassidish world that after the Ptir of the Baal Shem Tov, he was the one that took over. And he took over, like we said before, Rav Hai took over his father, Rav Shire. He took over for the first year. Now, the first year on Yom Tov Shvius, all of the Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov gathered together to be a Meshbish, where the Rebbe is buried. The Baal Shem Tov is buried in Meshbish, to be over there by the Rebbe's yard site. And they were all sitting by the Tish, and the son of the Baal Shem Tov, he was sitting at the hat table. He was like the Rebbe, continuing the Derech HaChassidus, Reb Tzvi. In the middle of the Tish, he fell asleep. He, say asleep, you say a dream of a nap, or even less than that. And then when he awakened himself, he said, I saw my father in Cholam, and my father told me that the one that has to be Mamshich is my Talmud, the Mezritch Magid, Reb Doiv Ber, the Rebbe Ber of Mezritch. He stood up in the middle of the Tish. He took off the white bekitche that he was wearing. He put it onto the Magid, and he went set aside. That's a gewaldige Madreige. Person should be already sitting, running Keilu, the whole Hasidus, all of the Talmid Baal Shem Tov, and he gave it over because his father told him that the one that's supposed to be the Mamshich is his Talmud, like Moshe Rabbeinu, Yeshia Benin took over. Yeah, his Talmud, Shoras Moshe, he gave everything over. Now, from then on, he was like a quiet person, and also his son, Reb Arle Tetiver. He lived in the city Tetiv, as we said. Now, he was Oni. He was a very poor person. He was sitting the whole day and learning and davening in shul. And it was interesting because usually Einik of the Baal Shem Tov lives over here, so people would see to it that he should have whatever he needs. No one was Mesim Lev. No one was, how do you say it in English? Recognizing. No one was thinking about what's about his whereabouts, if he has a living or something. And he never asked for anything. One day, the matzav came that was very, very hard at home. He probably didn't have what to feed his children already for a day or two. And that was when he decided it's enough. He can't anymore. And after davening Shachris, he went to the bima. Like this, he was sitting at the end of the shul, in back of the oven over there. He went to the bima and he said, I can't get over this. Einik of the Baal Shem Tov is living over here in the city, and no one even thinks about him, from where he has a living, if he has what to eat or so. As he finished saying these words, there was such a rush in shul, and the people started saying, he's so right. How come? We never thought about it. We see him in shul learning and davening, and we never thought, from where does he have to make a living? Right away, all of the choshev people in the shul, the wealthy people, sat down and they made on a paper, they wrote down how much everybody's going to give him every month. He is going to give 2 ruble, 3 ruble, and they made the cheshbon. It should be a nice amount, should be able to make a nice, good living from this. That was what they decided, and they went home, probably with the idea that by tomorrow they're gonna get together with all the money and start giving him. After they went out, he started thinking to himself, Rebbeinu Shloilo, what did I do? I never turned to people. I was only boiteach b'Hashem. Porech hagever ashasom miftachoi b'Hashem. And now I went and I started asking for people. I lost my Emuna b'tochen and Hashem. Right away, he got back his madrega of Emuna b'tochen, and he went to the Meziz and he said, Rebbeinu Shloilo, Ani nishba, I swear that I'm not leaving this door of the mezuzah of the shul until you're going to make everybody forgetting the whole story that happened today in the morning. And that was what happened. Everybody forgot, and he was mamshech. Hashem helped him. He was being mamshech. Hashem had something like till now. Hashem helped him weiter, but this whole story was forgotten. He later related this story, and the Chortke Rebbe, Rabbi Yisrael of Chortke, in a Sefer Ginzi Yisrael, explains with this story the pasuk in Parashat Vayeshev. It finishes the last pasuk, "V'lo yizoch Sara Hamashpia as Yosef vayishkacheyu." So first of all, he asks, if you say already "V'lo yizoch Sara Hamashpia as Yosef," so he didn't remember, it means he forgot about him. Why do you also have to say vayishkacheyu? And what's the Rosh of vayishkacheyu? It's like, oh, so he explains, that's the pshat. What's the reason Taka the Sara Hamashpia didn't remember? Yosef told him, Kim zechartani v'izkartani, you should remember me. So explains the Chortke Rebbe, when the Sara Hamashpia left, Yosef started thinking to himself, what did I do? I'm already here in Tvisa for 10 years. And now I was beteach in the Sara Hamashpia. He davened to Hashem that the Sara Hamashpia should forget about him. Why? Sara Hamashpia as Yosef vayishkacheyu. He made him forget. That's the Lashon vayishkacheyu. Yosef made the Sara Hamashpia should forget, because he thought to himself, why did I do such a zach? So this is how he explains with the same idea with the story of Rabbi Arle Tetiva. Now I want to say a story. There was another yortzeit on Sunday. The yortzeit of the Sadigere Rebbe, the Avir Yaakov. He lived in Tel Aviv, and he's buried in Givatayim, his kever. The Avir Yaakov, Rabbi Avram Yaakov from Sadiger. An amazing story about him. First, I want to say a word that he brings down in a sefer that he heard from his father, Rabbi Yisrael from Sadiger. His father says, we see a lot of times by davening, we say, Onu melei ovoin va'atu molei rachmim. We call out to Hashem with the name that you're molei rachmim. So he explains, Rabbi Yisrael of Sadiger, why do you have to say Hashem is molei rachmim? Hashem is the Baal rachmim. Melech Yoshev al kisei rachmim. What's molei, full of rachmim? You don't say Hashem is molei chanun, molei erech apayim. Hashem is rachim, chanun. What's the pshat molei? He explains Gevaldi. He says, when a cup is not full till the top, and you want to pour out from the cup a little bit, what do? You have to take the cup, and you have to do something, and pour a little bit, do a pa'ula, a small deed, in order the water should come out. But when a cup is full till the top, you don't even have to touch the cup. You just give a little move, a shackle, the table, and it's pouring, because it's full till the top. He says Hashem Yisborach is not only a Baal Rachmim and Yoshev al Kisei Rachmim, he is a Molei Rachmim, full till the top with Rachmanis. A person just has to give a little move himself. He gives a little bit, a shackle himself. He wakes up, a little bit in Anua, and Rachmim is pouring on him. And Klal Yisrael, because Hashem is Molei Rachmim. That's how the Rebbe Sadigeri says. Now I want to say a story about him. There's a story, I heard it from a Yid, a Belzer Chassid. His name is Kalish, his mishpacha name, his family name. And he is the einikla of someone Reb Moshe made. This that Moshe made was a Sadigere Chassid, a Chassid of this Rebbe, and he told the story like this. At the Levaya of the Sadigere Rebbe, he was walking after the Mitte until the Beis HaChaim, where he was buried. On the way, a car stops, a tender stops, and the driver asks him, "Are you on the way to the Kvura of the Sadigere Rebbe?" And Moshe made answers, "Yeah, I'm walking there." So he told him, "If you want, you could come into my car, because I'm also heading to the Kvura." So he went into the car. And he was wondering why, because it wasn't such a big chassidus Sadiger of the Aver Yaakov. Maybe he had maybe 100 chassidim, 200 chassidim in those days. I don't know how much he had. And he usually knew all the people because he was one of the chassidim. And this face wasn't a familiar face in Sadigeri. Actually, I never saw this person by the Rebbe. So how come he should be interested in going till the Kvura, till the burial of the Sadik? But he didn't ask anything. While driving, he sees that the driver is crying. Tears are coming down his eyes, on his face. He understood something has to be over here. So he started asking him, "Did you have any connection to the Rebbe? Did you know him?" And he starts saying, "The Rebbe, if not of him, my whole life I owe him my life. My whole mishpocha I owe him." And he starts saying like this: "After the Shoah, I came here to Eretz Yisrael, and I was very heartbroken. I wasn't interested in building a house, building a mishpocha again. People started convincing me, look, you're the only one left from your mishpocha. And why shouldn't there be a hemshich, a continuation to the mishpocha? You have to get married." So, still, until someone suggested a good shidduch, and I met this girl a few times, and we decided we're going to get engaged. Now, after we got engaged, we started, but first we have to see if we have something with what to start the life. So we decided we're going to wait a half a year, and I'm going to be looking around if I could find something to make a living, find a parnasa, find an apartment, in order to start living. I was looking around, finding a job. It was very difficult in those days. And I didn't end up making anything b'meshach those few months. A half a year was passing by, and I saw that I don't have a penny to my name. I thought, in such a case, I can't get married. Fafal. If not, it's not. I can't get married. How can I bring children? How can I feed my wife and children? Pay for the rent bills, all other bills? I can't see it working out. So I called over the Kala. I told her, look, why should you have to marry me and then you don't know which type of life you're going to be heading for? Let's break up the shidduch between us. Maybe it's not made for me to have chasana. And you could find a good shidduch, a good chassan, more mukhshar. How do you say a mukhshar? Someone that's more prestige or more talented, with more qualifications than me. And maybe and you can have a better life with him, having parnasa, not having to worry every day from where to make a living. Now, she came from a Chassidish background, from a Chassidish house. And he wasn't from a Chassidish house. He was, I think, from a Yekish background. She told him, look, what I remember from my father's house, that you don't do anything without asking your rabbi. Asking your rabbi. We can't decide ourselves such things. So look, if the real thing that we have to do, the right thing, is to break up, I want a rabbi should give us the bracha, the blessing, that we should be sure. He was asking if this is what she wants. So they were in Tel Aviv, and they started asking people, where's the rabbi over here around? And someone showed them, look, over here down the block, there's a Sadigere Rebbe living. So they went in. They go in, and this bocher tells them the whole story, and he is listening to Sadigere Rebbe. As they finish to speak, he stands up, and he takes out a luach, a calendar, from the shafe, from the Ahron. How do you say? From the bookshelf, yeah. From the bookcase, he takes out the calendar, and he starts looking, 5-6 weeks from then, and he asks them, is this specific day a good day to make the chasana? And they're looking at him. They came here to break up the shidduch, and he's speaking about the chasana. And the Sadigere Rebbe explains to them, look, the Yetzer Hara very much doesn't want a Jewish home should be built. He doesn't want every Jewish home that's built is for him the worst that could be. And he very much doesn't want Jewish homes, Chaz v'Shalom, should be built. Now, what can he do? He tries always to put in, to block it, to make a miniot. Things that should prevent from it happening. So it's a lot of times he makes that you shouldn't find an apartment, you shouldn't find a job, because like this, it's pushed off or even breaked up. I advise you the different way. Be koveya a tarikh for the chasana. You decide a date for the chasana. Once there's already a date for the chasana, he loses his power. Because there's already, anyway, this house is going to be built. They are going to be married. So once he loses, so all the shefa that comes from a chasana could come in. That was what he told them. So if they heard so from the Rebbe, he took out some mashke and some cake. He made the l'chaim with them, and he wished them all the best. They should be matzliach in their lives, and finished. They went out a little bit confused because that wasn't his plan. When he went into the Rebbe, he was planning to get a brocha, haskome, in order to break up. And now he gave them a date and to have chasna without knowing what's going to be the next minute. Now he was sleeping in a place with other bucherim, with some bucherim that weren't married yet, and she was sleeping in it. So they split up and they decided that they're going to meet in a few weeks from now. In order to see what's going on, they have to get ready to the chasana. While he is walking to where he is sleeping, to his place, like a street or two before arriving to his destination where he is staying, he heard someone crying out from the window, "Bucher, Bucher, come up, come up." He looks up, it was quiet at night, and he sees an elderly woman standing by the window and screaming out, "Bucher, come up." Sure. He comes up, she tells him like this, "You seem to me to be a very good Bucher, serious Bucher. Look, my husband was nifter a few weeks ago, he passed away, and we didn't have any children. I have a big house, you could see this house, and I'm very afraid to be alone. I would want if you could find for me, you seem to be an ehrliche, serious, good Bucher, I would want you to find for me a young couple that they wouldn't mind to come and live here together with me. I only need 2 rooms, the rest of the house that couple could have. And after my 120, I'm going to write it over by a lawyer that they're going to be inherit the house from me."
Oh my gosh.
This Bucher listens and she thinks, what? And he asks it, "Am I good to be that couple, me and my wife?" So she says, "For sure, you seem to be a very good, serious Bucher. Someone more like you I'm looking for." He right away goes back to where the Kala was staying, and he asks her to come over. Let's see. And he shows her around the apartment. First of all, this lady met the girl and the Bucher, and she was very, very happy if they're going to be the ones that are going to be living with her. And they looked around, and she showed them what she needs for herself, and the rest they could have. He said, "I got married to my wife. We went to live there the night of the chasana. We lived there all the years. When she was nifter, we inherited this whole house. It was a big, huge house in Tel Aviv. Baruch Hashem, we had a beautiful family. I married off my children. Baruch Hashem, I had parnasa. Now tell me, don't I owe my life for this Rebbe? If not for him, I would never have married. And what would have been?" So that's why he just went in to ask him for a brocha. He gave him a date for the chasana, and he told him once Yaakov the zman hachatuna, Hashem is going to help, the shefa is going to come in. So we should all be zoiche, zechu sayogen oleinu val kol Yisrael, we should have all hashpuas toivus and izachis. Amen.
Amen.